Does it mentions in your report that the U.S. military is spending $20 million for firewood. Is there any justification for $20 million in Afghan firewood?
Mr. Chairman, that was one of the more interesting comments my auditor told me, is that you're absolutely correct. We are paying, SIGAR is paying approximately $20 million a year for firewood. And when my auditors asked for documentation of what we spent on firewood, we were basically told, quote unquote, we don't have the records, we just spend the money. And that's the SIGAR attitude. Now, that's a lot of firewood. Somebody joked that, that's like buying every stick of lumber in Maine. Again, it's an attitude, we just pay. And that's what is shocking. Now, one of the things, obviously there's some bribery going on here. We'd be naive to think that there wasn't. Do you have any sense of how that happens, what the going rate is? I mean, how much are these people being paid off? Well, again, it's difficult for us to do criminal investigations in this arena because there are no records. And it's going to even be more difficult if we just cut a blank check. But in other programs that we have looked at, in programs related to, I believe, some of the host nation trucking cases that I referred to that Mr. Tierney and you investigated before, we have records. We've done criminal investigations. We actually have 25 fuel-related investigations currently underway, which has resulted in a number of indictments. But the going rate we're seeing is about $5,000 per truck to make trucks disappear. And we have one case in which approximately 200-some trucks just disappeared. And by that I mean is somebody made up the records. There actually is paper records. They just made them up. They were paid $5,000, so it's about $1,000 a gallon. And the trucks went out the door, never to be seen again. And so that's over 1 million gallons in fuel, and nobody noticed it until we opened the criminal investigation. And I must say again, we have very strong support from the military in this matter, and they've been very helpful, and we've been working jointly with them and Task Force 2010 on these type of cases. But those are cases where we actually have records. We don't have records over at SIGAR. Can't just go down to Office Max and buy a few laptops and get a little software and be out the door by 3 p.m. And I got to tell you, I really appreciate highlight that. I say that with a little smile on my face. But after 10 years, and for SIGAR, for the Pentagon to suggest that we should increase spending to $555 million per year. And from 2014 to 2018, $2.8 billion that they want to increase the funding and just allow that and send a bulk of this directly to the Afghan government with less control, less oversight, less accountability. It's just absolutely stunning that the total lack of regard for the resources and the money that the American people are spending, and then to spend $20 million on firewood with no accountability. I really appreciate you bringing this to our attention. But we in Congress have to step up and do something about this because this is totally unacceptable.